Mike for Wine Weirdos here with Randall Grahm from Bonny Doon Vineyard. How's it going?
Good.
You had a busy morning coming into San Diego.
Just another day at the airport.
It's like a Tuesday, so everybody's doing their business, commuting in and out.
Wasn't too bad.
Awesome. Well, you're here. You made it to Wine Weirdos headquarters.
It's a miracle. It's a miracle.
Awesome. And you brought along some awesome wines that we've been getting into.
Thanks. Yeah, they're showing pretty nicely. They're a little cold still, but they're warming up.
Yes, you prefer your wines a little on the warmer side then, and with more air.
Well, the red's on the cool side, the white's on the warm side.
Okay.
There's cool, and then there's super cold. So they're making progress.
Okay. So we're checking out. This is your sparkling Pinot Meunier.
Yeah.
And this is 2014, so it's had like a year in the bottle, right? And it's starting to become very expressive on the nose. The nose kind of pairs with the palate for me. It has that chalkiness kind of running through both. What else are you getting?
Well, one of the mysteries of wine, one of the things I meditate on is how do you evaluate wines that you don't have already an idea already about? In other words, how do you recognize new styles? How do you even decide if you like something or don't like
when
something?
You're first tasting
when
something?
When you first taste something,
right.
A new style for the first time, do I love it? Do I hate it?
Right.
And there's kind of, I think that decision stays with you. I think if you decide that you hate it, you may never revisit it.
First
this is going to take off. By the way.
We may die mid-shoot, but first impressions mean a lot.
Yeah,
in terms of wine.
And I think it's really important to have kind of a beginner's mind or beginner taster's mind when you taste wine. I think you have to taste wine for the first time every time you taste it, and really be as spontaneous and in the moment as you can, and just let the sensations kind of wash over you
and speak to you.
And yeah,
awesome. So for this wine, you've been making, how long have you made? We were talking about sparkling red and just how weird.
It's such a weird category.
Right.
Years ago, I was in Australia, and James Halliday tried to initiate me into the mysteries of sparkling Shiraz. And I wanted to love sparkling Shiraz. I wanted to love it.
I want to hate it.
Well, I hated it.
Yeah.
I wanted to love it, but I hated it.
Right.
If I was honest with myself, he brought me these old examples and really best examples. I didn't like any of them.
Are you a Lambrusco guy? Because I also find that very challenging.
I'm not a Lambrusco guy either,
right.
particularly.
Yeah, I find that very challenging. I enjoy this sparkling red wine. I mean, it's not just because the winemaker's here. Like, I actually would drink this, which is crazy to me. Like, I don't know if I've said that about a sparkling red before. So, it's interesting. It has great acid. It's really mouth-watering. It's not sweet. There's earthiness to it. I mean, it does remind me of your wines. It does remind me of your reds.
This is going to take off by a
We're going to pause the video, and then I'll cut us back in, because...
So sparkling red wine, I always try to be empathic towards, I feel like Holden Caulfield in Catcher in the Rye, as far as ducks. I feel that way about oddball wine styles. I want to do my best to do my part to preserve them, to protect them.
I think you're doing a pretty sufficient job as far as oddball styles go in terms of wine. This is... I mean, who else is making a sparkling red wine in California?
Not too many.
Yeah, right? So, and a good one, and a good sparkling red wine in the world. Like, we just agreed, not too many.
Too many.
So I like this a lot. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I think we're going to get into sparkling wines to a much greater extent, even sparkling pinks and whites.
Cool.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
And you do this in Méthode Champenoise?
This is Méthode Champenoise.
I was going to mispronounce it, butcher it again with the pronunciation, but that's awesome. So, and you're using 52% Pinot Meunier, so...
I love Pinot Meunier. We used to work with Pinot Meunier as a still wine. We made a red Pinot Meunier, and actually made a Blanc de Noir Pinot Meunier, which was very interesting, way back in the day. And strangely, my experience of Pinot Meunier is that it's more Burgundian than Pinot Noir in California. To me, it has more complexity and more earthiness and more soulfulness than Pinot Noir.
Cool.
Go figure. It's totally counterintuitive.
So will we see more Pinot Meunier in other forms from you, or
No.
is it strictly going to be the sparkling?
No, probably not. I think we're moving towards a estate model where we're just want to work with our own grapes,
Okay, cool.
and we ain't going to grow Pinot Meunier.
Okay.
It ain't going to happen.
All right, we're going to check out the 2016, and I'll get the pronunciation wrong again.
Vin
Gris
Gris, yes.
de
De Cigar. Gray wine of the cigar. Gray wine of the cigar.
Gray wine of the cigar. So, it looks pretty pink to me, though.
It's pinkish.
Yes.
It's a little pinker than normal. Normally it's quite pale. This year it sat in a truck. It was machine picked because we couldn't get pickers, and press was broken, so we couldn't get it pressed right away. So as a result, it took on more color. This one batch took on more color, and that gave us qualities we never even expected.
Cool.
That's funny. Cassis character
Right.
came from sitting in the truck an extra 3 hours. I think that's my theory.
So it was like a happy accident, basically.
Absolutely, yeah.
Cool. What else is interesting about this wine? You've been making this wine quite a while now.
Yeah, since 1983.
Oh my goodness, every vintage.
Every vintage, yeah.
Very cool.
We were making pink wine before pink wine was cool.
How did those old vintages hold up with this? Do you have any left?
No.
No.
But the early ones were mostly Mourvèdre. And
Okay.
Mourvèdre-based rosés hold up much better than Grenache-based rosés.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Mourvèdre is great. And then there's a funny grape that you all should know about,
Right.
called Tibourin.
Oh, Tiburo, like the country? No, how do you?
Tibourin. Tibouren.
Okay,
And
I've
there's a
seen the
producer
name.
called Clos Cibonne, which is probably the only one that comes into this country. It's in Provence. It's also known in Liguria. It goes by another
Okay.
name of Rossese.
Okay.
And Tibourin,
I still don't think I've had it, but I have read about it.
check it out.
Yes.
It's the coolest.
What's
The
cool
coolest.
about it?
It's got a wonderful garrigue,
Mhm.
earthy,
Mm-hmm.
spicy, herbal character, and
Mhm.
just a lot of depth, a lot of soil characteristics, and it ages great. It'll age 20-25 years.
So, but are you you're starting to grow some of that now?
Indeed.
Any early reports or?
Too early to tell, but guardedly optimistic.
Awesome.
I think it will be the savior of the wine industry in California, perhaps.
You heard it here first from Randall Grahm on Wine Weirdos. That's fascinating. This wine, you were right. As it's warmed up, because I had it very, very cold, and now it's becoming like quite warm. It's tremendous. The weight for a rosé is great, but it's still light on its feet. It's not. This doesn't taste like a California wine.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That's very kind.
that to me is like the coolest thing I can say about it. I really enjoy that aspect to it. It's not necessarily full-blown France either, though.
There's a lot of fruit. As I said, there's kind of that funny cassis character,
Right.
that I like.
It's just delicious.
Thanks.
So, what else shall we try?
The reserve. This is going to knock you out when
This one.
it's warmed up a little
Okay.
bit. I think this is one of my favorite wines of all time.
The favorite wines of all time. This particular vintage?
This particular vintage.
Or
Well, this is the only time we've ever made it. We're doing it again.
okay.
But notice how pale it is. It's,
Right.
It's kind of onion skin in color. So this is a Vin Gris Reserve that was aged in glass demijohn in
Right.
5-gallon glass bottles.
So what's the difference between Demijohn and Carboy?
Same.
Okay. There's two different names.
Two different names.
Cool.
The French name is Bonbon. Bonbon.
Oh, so that's like what you have a wine named after that as well.
Bonbon, yes.
Right. Awesome. Yeah, this is starting to really pop. Is this has Marsanne and Roussanne? No.
No, this is Grenache.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
Mourvèdre.
Because it reminds me of that. There's something about it, like that crazy Christmas spice thing is the only way I know how to describe it. Or cardamom, like Indian spices, but like the sweeter ones, like kind of an India sweet shop. If you go in and buy those Indian desserts, you get that all.
Oh, like sesame.
Yes, totally.
So this is a very, one of the things
Love that.
that's puzzled me about pink wine is how do you create complexity in pink wine? And I think the fruitiness of pink wine can work against the complexity. In other words, pink wines that are too friendly and too sunny and too exuberant lose a sense of gravitas. And I want to get just some more serious flavor elements.
So when you say gravitas, you mean like honesty about the wine, truth about the wine?
Well,
or?
more profundity, more complexity.
Oh, okay.
If you will.
Okay. I mean, this is very complex. This is really interesting.
I mean, it just incidentally happens to be slightly pink, but it could be white or red or something.
I agree. Yeah, I'm not sure what planet this is from in terms of color, but on the palate, it's very familiar to me. It tastes like old Chardonnay I've had that's really good, like really cool, like old white Burgundy or old like Napa Chardonnay that's just done the right thing over time, like, and it's such a crapshoot. Or even like old Sauvignon Blanc or Semillon. It just has that same, it reminds me of that character, but this is no oak.
No oak. There's a little oxidized character. I mean, it's
I love that oxidized character.
Yeah, it's almost a little bit like a Jura wine from
right,
Jura.
which I love so much. Like Savigny, is that how you pronounce it? I will mispronounce every French name. It's really horrible. This wine is very cool. But to me, I was saying earlier, this is like a foodie wine. This wine has oil characteristics, has herbal things going on. It's very much a savory wine. It's quite different from this wine. I mean, these two wines are worlds apart, actually.
Exactly.
Which is really interesting.
Starting with essentially the same grapes.
Do you make all the wines? Are they all 100% you, or you have a lot of assistant winemakers or consulting winemakers that you're relying on?
No, I don't have insulting winemakers. Consulting winemakers. No, my colleague Nicole and I do all the
insulting winemakers would be cool too, potentially.
Yes.
Just to keep you on edge.
I'm plenty on edge. Just trying to sell wine in this market keeps me on edge.
Yeah, I hear that. All right. I don't know what else to say about this wine. I feel like it's complex. I feel like I want to sit and drink it all up. I wish Christopher was here or Brandon so we could really like start to get into it. But
yeah,
it's the epitome of nerdy. You know, I think anybody who likes to nerd out on wine and really get into it and pick stuff apart and like find the pool toy and find the golf club or whatever the hell they're finding, like this is the wine for it. Is that a good thing? I mean, or is this like people overthinking wine, or do you do that, or are you more pragmatic about it?
I don't have the time to overthink that. I nerd out with the best of them, that's for sure.
Right.
But I think it's just you have to ask yourself, does it give you pleasure or not? If it gives you pleasure, there's nothing. That's all you can really ask for.
I think that mental engagement with a wine is part of what gives me pleasure. The same way as looking at a great piece of art,
Yeah, and then also knowing some history of it, or having some intellectual understanding of the technique, or
starting to learn about why it tastes the way it tastes.
All of that enhances the enjoyment, and especially the place. If you've seen the place, if you've been to the place, if you've seen the hillside, and all that stuff adds to the experience.
I agree. I can't wait to get up there because I need to check out the new
Pope de Chaume.
Yes. Amazing. So we'll get into that in a second. So for you, you're still in love with wine. I mean, it's been so long.
I'm still in love with wine, but I have to say in candor, I'm not as in love with the wines. I'm not yet making the wines that I want to be making. I'm making progress.
Okay.
And not that these wines are despicable in any sense at all. They're perfectly fine wines.
Right.
But I want to be making wines with more meaning and more depth and more complexity and more originality. That's quite important.
Awesome. That's really cool. Wow, that's kind of scary though too. Like it's a lot of work, right?
No kidding. Yes.
Big responsibility.
Well, you want to feel you've given it your best shot.
Awesome. Cool. All right. Well, let's get on to the next. What else do you want to try here? You want to drink the Gilroy or the proper claret, or move on to the Grenache?
Let's just go right to the Grenache.
You can't wait. This is like what you just referred to was.
That this wine has soul. This wine, and again, I wish I could take credit for being a clever winemaker. This was super primitive winemaking. This is like wine. This isn't even winemaking 101. This is like winemaking 1.
But you found this, and this is again, not available anywhere, but it is the Popelschum Grenache 2015. So tell me about this site, because I've seen a lot of snippets in the press. I've been reading about it. I want to know, tell me what is there that I need to know? What are the facts
Okay,
about
so
this?
I'm a terroirist, self-avowed terroirist.
Right.
And my problem historically has been I admire wines of place, wines of terroir, but I was such a chicken shit. I never imagined that I thought I could do it myself. I thought somebody should make a wine of place, just not me, because it's too hard to do. And so
Right.
it's just, I'm not going to try it because it's
So
too hard.
when we drink it, we can really say, wow, this tastes like that. That's what that area tastes like.
I
Link
think-
the two together as closely as possible.
I think we're getting there. I mean, it takes a long time to really understand what your terroir is about, and I think this is just the first vintage from this vineyard, and these were not even proper vines. These were just nursery row.
Okay.
These were just grapes grown in a nursery row.
Wow.
But so in other words, I ended up at Popelschum in San Juan Bautista in search of terroir. I mean, this is my mantra. This is what I'm going for.
Okay.
And
So you picked this plot out
I picked this land out
to be your estate.
This will be our estate, and we're going to go for it. And
Okay. What's special about the microclimate or the elevation or the terroir? Like,
I wish I could say scientifically what makes it special.
Okay.
But there's a lot of things. First of all, the geology is incredibly complex. It's a unique geological formation. It's a very small, relatively small area. It's about maybe 20,000 acres that are within this little sub-appellation. We're going for an AVA, our own AVA.
Wow.
It's located in between two very active earthquake faults. The San Andreas Fault borders our property on
how does
one-
that influence it?
Well, it has moved the geology, the soil enormously. So there's been a big upturning of the soil. So
Okay.
we have very unique, sorry, there's no such thing as very unique. We have unique
Right.
soil typology. We have 4 really distinctive soil types on our property, plus several that are less distinctive.
Okay, give me an example of one of the soil types. And
One
what's-
is we have the same limestone lode that moves from Calera through the Mount Harlan appellation, comes right through San Juan Bautista.
Cool.
Yes, we have a.
So with the different soils, you're choosing which specific varietals to
So
plant.
what we're trying to do is isolate the specific soil types and then replicating different trials on the same soil, on different soil types, to see
Cool.
if we can observe the effect of the soil type on
Amazing.
the expression of the wine.
So it's really a long-term experiment.
Basically until I die, or a long time from now, whichever comes first.
Awesome. Hoping it's a long time for now. For selfish reasons,
Well, yes.
want to hang out with you more. Also want to try these amazing wines as they start to come to fruition.
Me too.
Fascinating. This wine is extremely interesting. 2-year-old Grenache vines, and
These are
and it's
2-year-old
bringing
nursery Grenache. But
I can't believe that's amazing to me.
Do you get the mineral aspect?
yeah.
Like big time?
Yeah, big time complexity. I mean, just the way you've made it as well. It is very concentrated, very dense, it's ripe in the best ways, and it's just a very complete wine, and I can see the ageability being terrific. I would love to see. Unfortunately, probably nobody will see. But theoretically, it'd be brilliant to see what would happen in 10 to 15 years.
This is 13.9% alcohol. It was not acidulated.
Amazing.
It was not alcohol.
This is
potential
just the
alcohol
juice.
adjusted. Just the juice.
Amazing.
Good nothing.
Absolutely amazing.
Fermented in a large garbage can.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. I'm telling you.
Talk about no oak.
No oak. It was actually aged in a very old 30-gallon barrel, because that's what we had. And everyone knows you should never put Grenache in small cooperage. Never, ever, ever, ever. We did, because that's
Right.
all we had. And
But it was completely beyond neutral.
beyond neutral.
Beyond
But
neutral.
It worked.
Like it's starting to have other stuff going on away from oak. Love it. Yeah, I mean, I can see why you're proud of this. This is very cool wine.
It's not being a clever winemaker. It's being a clever. It was being clever in finding this vineyard and having somehow the luck, the karma to accidentally grow the right grapes in this particular site.
Love it. Such a great experience for you too. Like, I can see where I totally am starting to get where you've been and where you're headed.
Yeah, I mean it's ironic in that everything I've done, or most everything I've done up until now, has been what they call wines of effort, where you control variables and you manipulate the wine and you have it come out the way you intend it to come out.
Right.
And this is kind of a form of letting go and trying to let the site itself express its unique character rather than your imposition of a character or style.
Amazing. So you're fully embracing, I'm sure, organic and biodynamic principles.
Absolutely. We're farming this vineyard biodynamically. The vineyard will be...
What are some of the challenges of that? Because I know a lot of winemakers struggle with that. They want to go there as much as possible, but I know it's a challenge and it's a constant it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but it's not onerous in California. Honestly, our growing conditions are so benign. It's not so traumatic to grow grapes organically.
Just because it's such a great climate in general.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And if you set the vineyard up in such a way that you can do it, it's not such a challenge.
That's cool. So they're having a much harder time of it in Europe.
Much more
with global warming, though, it's becoming easier.
Right. There's one positive side to global warming. That's the only.
For a while, the wine's going to be awesome.
For a very short while.
Right. Then it's going to be like.
It's going to be terrible again.
Vineyards in Iceland. Randall's third phase.
The third phase, the Iceland phase.
Antarctica, Iceland.
Cool. Ice vine from Iceland.
That tastes like this.
Provence in Iceland.
It's been so much fun having you. I hope that anybody who made it to the end of this has learned a little more about who you are and what you're up to here in 2017. And maybe this will be fun to watch in 2027, and we can look back and have a laugh and do it again. Cool stuff. Randall Grahm from Bonny Doon Vineyard. Please check it out, everyone. Mike for Wine Weirdos. Cheers.
Cheers.